Hello, dear friends of electronic music. Björn Torwellen here from SINEE. And today we have a Belgium techno legend here. Steve RedHead is here. And
hello.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
Fine. Weekend is coming, so I'm ready.
Yeah, we are listening to your tracks today. 8 tracks in a row. You had time to send us your tracks via Discord or our website, and we will give feedback to you. Today, you see, it's not Robert, it's me. Robert is traveling in India. He has some gigs there. And when Robert Babic is not here, I am the host. And yeah, looking forward. What do you think about giving feedback to other producers? Sometimes do you get feedback or do you try to get feedback for your music? Or
Yeah, of course we get feedback on the promos we send around when the release is coming. I have I don't say loads, but regularly people who ask me like feedback. How do I do this? How do I do that? So, but this is the first time I do it live.
okay. Yeah. I think feedback is so important for producers, but it's important to find the correct feedbacker. So if you are doing groovy techno stuff and sending a track to a melodic techno guy, maybe the feedback you are getting is not usable for you. That's always the thing. So yeah, but
if I get tracks that are not in my style, I try to give them technical feedback.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I'm listening to a lot of different styles, but when it comes maybe to drum and bass or some niche genres, it's really hard to give feedback. Yeah, because a normal sounding drum bass track for me, it sounds nice. It sounds like drum bass. But if you are a drum bass pro, maybe you say, it's not so good. You have to do this like this.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice. So I think we start now with the first track. And the first track is coming from Yutsua Koff. I sent you the link in the chat here. And please don't forget to mute yourself when you listen to the track. Okay. Oh, I have to forget something. Don't see the... Wait. So now we can listen to the track. Let's go. Hey Joshua, thank you for submitting this track to us. And Steve, our guest, will of course have the first feedback of the evening. So yeah, what you are thinking about smoking stressed?
Good one to start, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the track. I like the track. Sounds really clean, punchy in my headphones. That's one thing. I would prefer to listen to it on my speakers, but that's not possible today. It sounds really good on on my headphones. I love it. The track. The only thing that bothers me a bit is the main sound that comes around like 1 minute 22. Sometimes it goes too loud. I have the impression, but maybe that's
Especially on
again
the
on.
one. There's one
Yeah,
accent
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah,
one.
yeah,
It's yeah.
yeah. The like bass sounding kick hi-hats was sounded really good to me. Something I would play in a good moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Nice trippy and bleepy vibe here. And I really like the groove in the kicks, those double delayed kicks between the main kicks. But for me, I think something polymetric could work well here. The sequence always hits on the one,
Yeah.
but I would like something more twisted and unpredictable going in there because those bleepy alien invasion synth sounds are screaming for being more polymetric. And then you more get this hypnotic vibe because nothing is always on the same. And I think there could be much more variation on this bleep synths. Some ear candies, sometimes more reverb, delays, but particular, not linear like this, more reverb. So more, yeah, so on some points. Yeah, a bit of ear candy is missing, especially some percussions to fill in the gaps and add more movement to the track. So, like some syncopated percussion sounds. I think there was no percussion in these tracks. It was just beat,
Like an
bleep
hi-hat,
sounds,
something I heard. Yeah.
FX, and the drums, but
Yeah, but my
nothing
opinion,
percussive.
is it too much? Is it if there is too many percussive, is it not going to destroy the track?
Okay,
It's
maybe.
in
Yeah.
my opinion. Um, the only thing that bothered me was the sequence. Yeah, like you say, it's a little bit too boring and too loud. First, it's too loud. It's goes above everything else.
Yeah.
What I liked also in the track is it's like this. They come sometimes some little voices
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
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 I love this. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, the voices was nice. There was
yeah,
on
yeah,
point
really nice.
and not too loud. It was more in the
Yeah,
background, so it feels a bit spooky. Yeah, and I don't talk about percussion loops or something like this. More here and there, a rim shot with a lot of reverb, and then you
yeah,
get more depth in your
okay.
track when you have some ear candies flying around your head. And in the arrangement, it could be interesting to stop the bleep and replace it with a different element. But it's just a matter of taste. And for me, I'm not sure I have to listen. I definitely missing a ride on the climax that coming. on the track. But it's my taste. A good track
I didn't
always
miss.
need a ride.
I didn't miss it.
No, you didn't miss it, or
No,
I
because
always need rides.
yeah, me too normally because everybody who listens to my tracks will say, "What is he saying now?" But
Yeah.
this time, yeah,
No.
when the break goes down, it goes up. Like I was like, well, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. The only thing that bothered me
Was
the main
was
sound. Yeah, oh,
yeah, but nice start.
yeah, yeah. Good one to start. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
if this is the level, we are good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, nice community. So you can, of course, talk in the chat and give feedback as well to the tracks we are playing here. And the next track is coming from TRMA. I think he was also a guest on this stream, the last with Diaz. The track name is Shake, and Let's go. serious stuff. Really, uh, I I really like it. Second track, bomb. Killer percussions. I really like this punchy sound, good low end, and I love how the drums come in and the filter worked on the beginning on the kicks. This was really on point. Then there was very surprising synth sound. But the first thing I thought when I hear the synth sound, it could use a bit more high end for my taste. It was a bit muffled. Yeah. And then there was.
If I can interrupt you, I think the track can use a little bit more high end.
Yes.
Then it would really come out. But sorry to interrupt.
No problem. And then the break come in too suddenly for me, and then there was those lonely sounding kick. I don't like it when in a track in the break there's just the kick and not the bass line, and this kick feels totally lone, like you forget your child on a shop, on a candy shop. And then there was this fade of the kick. I don't like it. And I'm not sure if this track really needs this style of long break, because after the break, and also in the break, this tone shift of the pad felt so predictable. I think it would be cool to get bolder with chords and use some crazy progressions and not like it was too predictable. Try some crazy chord stuff and not always on the 1 and then the 2, maybe on the 1, on the 4, on the 5th, and then on the 6, some crazy and not always on the syncopated. It's the word for it. And right now it feels too bit back and forth and back and forth. And after the break, it was nice. Percussions are really rolling in this track, but I'm not a big fan of how this break works. I think you could do more work in the break with some, I don't know what, but or just leave the break. Yeah. And I really don't like how the kick was fading out and was but nice track. I think it was good. Yeah, I'm curious what Steve is saying.
I agree on a lot of points. Like I said, the highs could be a little bit higher to give energy to this track. The percussive stuff is too low in my opinion. Break, the main comment on that thing is it's really too long for me. It had my attention and I lost my attention. It must be a lot shorter. And maybe you can do some stuff like Björn said, some more stuff there that keeps it interesting. But yeah, shorten the break for sure. And yeah, also like in my if I see to myself, my tracks are 5 minutes long, not more, because this is a percussive track and stuff like this. It doesn't have to be almost 6 minutes. This is the main comment I have. It's a good track, but with a little bit of extra highs, it can really. I say this in English, spark out, or and the break, these are the main two comments. One more thing. That's personal. That's on style. Like after the break, like 20 seconds in, there comes some brassy sound. Like sometimes some notes. That's really personal. I really hate brassy sounds. I don't like it. But that's personal. If he or her likes it, he must keep it. But that's I would never do that. But for the rest, a good track again. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the foundation was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the percussion and kick and low end work and
Yeah.
yeah. But the main theme is maybe a bit too predictable at all.
Yeah. Some more work, and this is ready.
Yes. Okay, next track. There's a question. Maybe introduce Steve. Who is he? Where he comes from? Actually work at DC. Of course, we will talk to Steve about his career and upcoming stuff. But let's get more viewers and just listen to some music first. The next track comes from Recrudo. I sent you the link. Let's go. Thank you for your submission, Mesrek. And yeah, Steve, what are you thinking about the track Recrudo?
Let me see, because I'm in English, talking in English.
Oh, there is something going with. Yes, something is. Do you hear it, chat? Can you say something?
Hello.
Yeah, I think we have some crazy stuff is going here. Wait, say something.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, your voice is very distorted. I'm not sure why. Chat, can you confirm that the voice is distorted? Okay, my voice is distorted too, my voice, or just Steve's voice? Yeah, yeah. Your voice is a bit distorted. I don't know why. Maybe
Maybe if I talk like this,
no. It's some digital stuff is going on there.
Okay. I like vocoder, so okay.
Yeah, maybe you just disconnect and connect your audio. That could help. Or go out of the Zoom chat and come back. I think it's something with Zoom. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we fix it. This I'm sure. So maybe I can give some feedback here. No, sounds like a cable. Yeah. But like more like a bit reduction, and there was a crazy delay going on there. So I'm sure it's a Zoom thing. Yeah, this delay was irritating me totally because I was not sure if it's me or what's happening here. But my feedback here, I'm missing a bit of the backbeat. First, there was too many kicks and not enough percussions. Oh no, we have two Steves here. Wait. So, okay. Say something.
Hello.
Yeah, perfect.
Better now.
Yeah, much more better. There was some bit
Okay.
reduction going on your voice, maybe 2 bit. And crazy delay. Okay, so what's your feedback on the track?
I don't know what to say. I like offbeat tracks normally, but this one drags me a little bit too long into this one, and then it changes to a straight kick. That bothered me. That bothered me. Yellow, like it's like make a choice, or you make an offbeat track, or you go to the straight track. And again, the same as the previous track, the break was too long for me. It I lost my attention. And yeah, the name was Mascrack, if I remember well. Yeah, it make it a little bit more messy, like the track, and I lost my attention a little bit after 4 minutes. Yeah, uh, yeah, and maybe some little more hi-hat here and there. Yeah, the thing that bothered me the most was like we going from an offbeat kick or a double kick. Sometimes it changes to after the break to a straight kick, and I was like, what? And yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally with you. For me, there was missing something like a backbeat. There was just too many kicks. And my advice is if you're doing this breakbeat stuff, try to work with different kicks. One main kick on the 1 and on the 3s, so that you have the main rhythm. And all those rhythm kicks use other kicks, not with a lot of bass, more percussive and short. And you always need a backbeat, something with claps or snares. So otherwise, this is not working alone. You have only kick drums and hi-hats, and there were no claps or snares like though you need a backbeat. I like the shakers and I'm digging the dark vibe, but the break, there was nothing in the break and there was nothing really happen after the break. For me, it feels more like a sketch, not a full track.
Yeah, it still needs some work. It still needs
Yeah.
some work.
Yeah. I like those broken techno tracks sometimes. I have a lot of those old Code Red records. Maybe you know them. It was a sub-label from Drum Code.
I have a lot. But I was back in the days, 2000, fan of Olga and Josef. Like they had always this offbeat stuff. Like, I loved that back in the. That's 20 years old. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It was always fun to play as a
yeah,
DJ because it was a good training on the decks, but you can't play them on a proper party.
I did it back in the
Yeah,
days.
really, really.
Yeah. You had these guys was that Lokti Brada, Rubening and stuff. Back in the days, they played like 2 hours offbeat. Yeah, it
Really,
was going
really.
crazy after 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're coming from Belgium and had a lot of releases since 25 years or longer. When was your first
First
release?
release, first solo release was in 2000 on
2000.
Skunkworks. Yeah,
Ah,
and
Skunkworks.
but I did co-production with Marco Bailey from 1998. So then
Ah,
my
okay.
first release was actually 1998.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I have some releases from you on pornographic recordings.
Yeah,
I bought a
exactly. That
lot of
was one of
them.
the first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And you also have releases on Primate, right?
yeah. Like Primate and Dangerous Species. My the thing where I was most known of is on Zinc. Zinc is the
Oh
was
yeah.
my yeah. Primate and Dangerous Species, and then Primate came back in like 2015, and then I did a
Yes.
release again on Primate. Yeah,
Ah, cool. Yeah, but it disappears.
yeah. It's
What's
disappeared
happened with
again.
Primate? Because it was so nice to have Primate back again on records. Do you
I
know
have to ask
anything?
John. I don't know. I know John, but John had recently a heart attack. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Ah, it's an
I think it's
yeah. I
that's one of
love
the
this
reasons.
label.
Yeah,
I remember back in the days when I started to go on parties in Frankfurt in the U60
yeah,
311, always on the Chris
Been
Liebing
there.
nights. And it was this time when you go to the decks and write what the DJs is playing. And there was always this vinyls with the A pad on it. And it was, yeah. I bought a lot of primate recording and those
Yeah, still,
tribal
yeah,
stuff. Yeah, and now you are producing same music
yeah.
or more modern style, or how you would define your stuff.
It's again in the same direction. Yeah, I lost a bit track with that old style songs, but then I in 2021 I met Shadow and he came to me and he said, "Man, you have to do your old stuff again." I said, "No, I don't do it anymore." And then they played their set Shadow and Q Shape, and I was like, "Wow, I want to do this again." And so and I started to do this again, and yeah, then then the two releases on Mutual Rhythm came.
Yeah,
So
nice
and we are
releases.
back.
Yeah,
We are back on the old school stuff with a little new touch, of course.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's a new touch of
yeah,
sounding more modern and
yeah.
yeah,
But
and
the vibe is the vibe in the head is the same.
yeah, and what can we rate from you? Do you have some upcoming releases?
There are some. I did some remixes. I'm working again on a new Mutual Rhythm. Uh, yeah. Let me think. I'm working also for Perk Tracks on something.
Oh, nice.
There is a remix for Rafael Atanasio.
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
What else? What else? What else? There's a release coming on X series with from Horacio Cruz. There is one track coming there. Um, Let me think. There's a lot of stuff coming. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's about it. I think. Yeah. later. I still
It's
have
a
done
lot.
2 other remixes.
Yeah, nice. Very, very nice. And we are filming in a masterclass together with
Yeah,
you
yeah.
in a couple of weeks. And we will release this. We'll release this masterclass, I think, in May or June. Let's see. Looking really forward to work with you. Yeah,
Me too. Me too. Me too.
nice. So, yeah, if you want something from Steve in the masterclass, want have a track or want something, just write us on Instagram or write it here in the chat what you want to learn from Steve. We go to the next track now, track number 4. And I sent you the link. And it came from MarekSPolzki. Hippakos is the name of the track. Let's go. thank you, Marek, for your track. And my feedback. I find that the kick is very long and there's not a bass line. It's just a long kick. I like those rumble stuff, but I'm missing the groove here. Keep in mind, there's always a reverb in a club, and long kicks can cause some hard issues. You have the signal from the speaker and you have the room, and both together makes the music the people will hear. And if you have so long kick drums, it will mix with the reverb of the room, and it can cause two very muddy low ends in a club. On his headphones or in a speaker at home, maybe that's not a problem. That's why a lot of producers who are not able to test the music in clubs are doing tracks with those long kick drums. Better to have short kick drums. Also, there's a thing is the speaker can do one thing in the same time. And if you have long kicks, the speaker don't have space for all those other stuff. The speakers are our instruments. We are like a guitarist who playing the guitar with we are playing speakers. But I really like the synth and nice. The synth has a great envelope and reverb and texture, and it was more subtle. I really like the synth. Sometimes there are strange transients on the kick. I think it's the percussions clashing with the kicks. There was a lot of stuff, and sometimes one of this was exact the same transient with the kick, and that feels that the kick is has an accent on some points, and for me it sounds a bit wonky. And from the halfway point, it feels like something is missing, maybe a highlight or a pad or something like this. It's a great track, but something is missing there. That's always the hard point for a producer, to find exactly what is missing in a track. But it's a good tool track without the extra spice. And I think the main issue for me is this transient problem and the long kick. Yeah. Okay. Steve, what are you thinking about this track?
Yeah, I heard this clashing also, but I think we can solve this by putting groove in the hi-hats, because now it's like on the beat. I never like those hi-hats. It does to be a little bit off. Yeah. I don't know in what he produces, but like Ableton has this perfect groove to do this. Or in Cubase also swing stuff like this, a little bit off, and then these clashes are not gonna happen, in my opinion. Like that was my first comment. The hi-hats disturb me a little bit. It's too straight. Must be a little bit more groove inside. And the second thing is the same as you said. The track is really good, but there's something missing. And I would say like some weird noises, like a drone or stuff like that, with a lot of reverb or yeah. I love that mostly. Like if yeah. One of the guys who does that always, like Alarico does it, like a wong,
Yeah.
and something like this. Why not to surprise everybody? Yeah,
Some crazy stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
It needs one or two little things extra. Yes, yeah.
One special spice.
Yeah. And the hi-hats is the on beat hi-hats disturb me a lot. But that's personal. Maybe some people like it, but I like always a little bit off. Yeah.
But I think if you master this track and you can release it on a B-side, it's okay.
Like, and the kick also, yeah. Like I heard this also in my phone. I was hearing it also. Like it's a very low kick, so that's very dangerous if you play it outside.
Yeah. try to use short kicks and not too deep. Maybe a G or A or F kicks are too low. But if you're making very slow music, like me 10 years ago with 128 BPM, you can use deeper kicks because you have more space between the kicks. You faster your music, you higher should your kick. Just an experience. Because if you are very fast, then you don't have a lot of space between kick 1 and kick B and C and D. And then long kicks are always deeper kicks are always a bit too long. So, yeah.
I cut a lot of sub then in those. If your speakers are right, you can hear until where you can go to cut the sub. If you have a long kick, that's then the problem is also solved. Yeah.
Yeah, I always put my kicks in an Ableton and make them short, just with a fade. Try to find short kicks. Yeah, and then I do a lot of rumble stuff between the kicks. The next track is from, I don't know how to say this, but we go. And I know him. It's my cousin. I don't know. Never say.
Cousin,
Cousin.
Nephew.
Nephew, yes. Okay, let's go. thank you, Alessio, for your track. Alrizzo. Alrizzo, it's how we spell it. Yeah, so Steve, what are you thinking about analog emulation from Alrizzo?
How to pronounce his name? That's already the first question.
Alrizzo.
Okay. Okay, I can. No. In general, there's one thing that bothered me the most, and that's the main sound.
Yes.
It's too metallic for me personally, and the melody is a little bit too simple. It's like a it's kind of a little bit more groovy, and it's too loud. Like what I hear on my headphones, like it's the opposite of the track before, the very short kick with a good rumble. That sounds really okay. The clap is maybe a little bit too mid for me, but the rest sounded really okay. I think it's the main thing that bothers me is is the hook. Maybe you can do something with this sound, I'm sure, but this melody is something I personally wouldn't use. Something else, something a little bit more groovy, but maybe with the same sound and a little bit less in volume.
Maybe an interesting information for you is that his reference was Remco Backwilder.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Then it comes close. Yeah. Okay.
But Remco is making more stuff with delays, and it's
but there is delay on the main sound, if I hear it correctly. Yeah. A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, there was a delay, but I think Remco do it more weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, more techno.
Yeah. Yeah, and also because of the sound is too loud, the rumble and stuff is gone. Yeah, there must be, your nephew must do something there, and then maybe the track can be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I have the same problem with this main sound. It feels a bit odd, almost cartoonish for me, like a cartoon sound in the beginning. It was just not my vibe. Maybe it's a matter of taste. I really like that there were a pause with all the sounds dropping out, but I was already worried about when they'd come back. There was this pause, and I think, oh, okay, I will hate it when they come back, and I hate it. At 250, the heads come in, and there was some heads, they was grooving very, very well. And maybe it's that the sounds feel more like samples and not modulated enough, and the rhythmic and the melody a bit generic. Yeah, and when the sound comes back for the third time, I was really like, oh, no. But you're not close to Remco Backwilder, but I understand it a bit more now. Yeah. Yeah, interesting sounds from Remco. It's not my personal taste, but
I like it.
Some great productions.
I play a lot of his stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It depends. Next one comes from Van. And the track is called Vortex. Let's go. Okay, nice. Thanks for your submission. Yeah, what do you think, Steve, about
Wow,
Vortex from Björn?
I loved it. I loved it.
Very
It's
funky.
really, yes, it's really up my alley. I loved it from the very first moment. Something I would play if you give it to me. I play this. That's for sure. Just some things I would change. Maybe the mix a little bit better. I don't know. Again, it's my headphones, so I'm not sure if it's correct what I'm saying. And sometimes, like, got the kick a little bit more, a double kick sometimes. Like if you do something to make it more interesting, or maybe again like a drone sound or something like to keep me interesting. And then in the end, I heard like 10 seconds of voice. In the end, there's at around 4 minutes, there comes like 10 seconds of voice. I was like, why don't you put this sometimes a little bit louder here and there? I love that. Um, what I didn't like at all is the snare. The snare that comes in, I really didn't like that. That has to go. Or another snare, but it didn't match the track or
Snares
the
are
timing.
always a bit problematic.
Yeah, or cut the bass, like only the high of the snare. It's okay, but like this, it's not okay. Um, and also like the timing, it comes like 15 seconds, around 3 minutes, and then it's gone again. Yeah, that's the only. Yeah, I would change that. Yeah, but use that voice. I hear that voice like very low somewhere around 4 minutes.
I didn't
Um,
recognize it.
it's something like a voice. I like come on, use this more. Yeah, you sometimes there though, and or maybe some longer parts. Is it sample? I don't know. I think it's a sample. Yeah, it's like a spacey metallic voice that comes in like, but it's only 10 seconds. I was like, yeah, and but it was too late in the track. It must be before, I think. But anyways, I would play this for sure.
Yeah, same. I keep it short. Very funky. Okay mixed. Great balance and punch. Balance, not balance. Balance. But there were a few nasty resonances, especially in the main sound. It's in the nature of this main sound that it has resonances, but some of them were a bit nasty. So I think with a plugin like SUSE, you can tame it a bit. And for me, the main sound could have been filtered at times, so more dynamic, more in and out, as maybe sometimes shorter, longer decay. So, but that's just my idea and not a must-have. So, great track, yeah, funky, good vibe, yeah, nice. Yeah, so Steve, we talked a bit before this, before we started the streams, and we are talking about hardware and the use of hardware. What's your status quo now with hardware and using
Yeah.
hardware?
Okay, the community is gonna kill me.
Maybe not. Yeah.
um, yeah, I had the loads of hardware before. So my records in 2098 was all hardware. There was almost no audio, like maybe one track or something inside. So I had loads of it. But now with the years, I used less and less and less and less, and now it's almost all out of the box. In the box, I mean. What I still have is an analog 4, and I'm
Okay.
gonna and a Planet Fat. That is never gonna leave my house. The Planet Fat.
What plant fat?
Planet Fat from EMU.
I never
EMU.
heard it.
It's a purple little module. It's a ROM player. Yeah, it's like you had Orbit also. EMU Orbit.
Okay.
The Orbit I sold, but I regret that. That's I'm gonna rebuy if I see something that I like the V2. I'm gonna buy again. I don't know. I did some releases on Primeville back in the days. Those are all almost the EMU orbit.
Okay. I never heard it. EMU orbit. EMU orbit. I have to Google it.
Yeah.
There's a bad gear video from Audio Pills about this.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah. I see it a lot in the racks.
It's a very known
from
model.
older producers. Yeah.
That's the only two I'm using still. For the rest, I have a machine, and the Behringer version of the TR909.
Oh, yeah.
But that's it. The rest I sold. I sold last week my Wasp, my Pro One,
Crazy.
because it's here and it's not powered on anymore. So there's so many possibilities with digital, and I love you can make sounds I can never make with a simple module or to be honest, to be a synth.
Yes.
So, but
true.
Everybody's gonna kill me now. Yeah. So, but it's a personal choice, If you can, because I'm like I told you, I'm doing modeler lessons now to learn with work with modeler, but I'm gonna use the VCV rack.
Oh, perfect.
Not the external models. Yeah, I'm a mouse guy. I use always my best friend is my mouse now.
Yeah. So what DHW you are using?
Yeah, mostly Ableton.
Ableton. Ableton.
I started to work with Cubase in '96, so I still use it to master and stuff. And sometimes I make a track like my track Asmodeus on the last Mutual Rhythm that was made in Cubase.
Okay.
When it's like pads and stuff like this, I like to use Cubase because of the MIDI capabilities.
Yeah, it's had great features for making chords and stuff like this.
Yeah, exactly. But if it's like a percussive track, in my opinion, Ableton is unbeatable in the workflow.
Sure.
So, but I work also sometimes in Reason to make some sounds there. Before when I had Mac, I worked in Logic, so I worked a little bit in everything.
So we are getting in the box masterclass with you.
Yeah.
Great. No, it's great. I really, I'm more into the in the box masterclasses on SINEE than the hardware masterclasses. So it's always it's more nice for our students to learn something from in the box than from hardware masterclasses. Yeah, nice. Looking forward to shoot the masterclass with you. Next track from Clame. We go in the track now. Have fun. Okay, thank you for your submission. Yeah, I don't like the percussion loop. It's too loud. It's too noisy, especially the percussion loop, which takes up a lot of space and even buries the kick. So if you see it, look in the span, it was like this. Everything was on the same level, and the mids are too loud and the highs are too loud for me. It feels too much like a wall of sound, and I like those percussion loops, but I think they were, in this case, the percussion loops were too upfront in the mix and too loud, and and takes a lot of room. So there was no space for something else, and I was missing something else. But the percussions left no room for anything else. They just kept going and ended up sounding loud and distracting for me. The mix has also too much highs, and how I say, way too many mids, and the kick has not enough punch. That's my things of this track. Steve, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I agree on a lot of stuff you said. But the main problem I have with this track, this is a loop from a sample pack, or I don't know. And back in the days, 20 years ago, we didn't have the tools to redo this. Now, today, you have the tools to make something of this percussion loop on your own. There's something we're gonna certainly be doing in the masterclass. Because this is one of my things. I do the first thing to rearrange those loops. If I recognize, and I don't recognize this one to be honest, but it's my gut feeling says this is a loop from a sample pack.
It is a loop way too loud in the mix. Yeah.
Yes, and do something else with it. Use it, but do something else with it. And I'm the first one who is guilty. Back in the days, we just copy it, but we had almost no tools to rearrange it back then. Yeah, now you have like really simple tools to do that. So that's my main advice. And the second thing is I don't like the voice. Yeah, I don't like the voice. Some other voice, something. Yeah, the track needs a little bit some work, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, just try to level down the percussion loop. And if you are working in Ableton, try to use the beat mode on the warping. Then choose 1/16 and this arrow in one direction, and then decrease the decay, so it's get a bit more shorten the loop, and try to cut stuff out of the loop and take another loop and recombine them and build your own groove, so it's not feel like one samba loop. It feels like a nightmare in Brazil, where you want to sleep in a hotel and downstairs is somebody with some all the night don't stop drumming on some percussions. Yeah. So I'm really curious about Steve's masterclass. How do you build your percussion stuff? And
that's one of the
get it
first
in the
things
mix.
we will say in the masterclass.
Nice. Yeah, it's art to build those percussion loops.
I use samples also, so
Yeah,
it's
sure.
no secret. So
Yeah. Yeah, but to recombine them and mix them. Yeah. Okay, last track for today comes from Pete Foe, Afterglow. I think I've listened to this track on our German stream. I'm not sure. Let's go. Yo! Thanks for your submission, Pete. And I keep it short. Nice vibe, interesting sounds, but sometimes a bit too loopy for me. I like the pad when it comes in, and it was a great moment. Even it's a bit cheesy, but it fits well. But in my opinion, after this, the pad did not come back. Also it maybe just as a sweep for a break, and then it disappears. I think I would like this more. It was a nice moment, but yeah, if you left the pad out once it was introduced, maybe it's more creative. The ending is quite long, but I really like the ideas in this track. It's a very creative track, and I like the vibe, and it's nice. Something different. Not it's a unique sounding track, and that's what I like here. Yeah, it's not generic standard stuff. It's creative on its own way, and I really appreciate those creative tracks. Yeah. Steve, what are you thinking about this track?
I agree. It's I was thinking, what style is this? So yeah. One thing I didn't like is I'm not a big fan of the kick, because
Yeah.
I feel they are like I must have, not funny sounds, but nice sounds inside, and then the kick was too hard for me compared with those sounds. So if you put like a nice kick inside, sometimes, yeah. One of the guys I appreciate, like Ignace, or how do you spell it?
I like him. Yeah,
Yes, he uses also like these kinds of sounds, like special sounds, and his kick is always matching the track.
Yeah, like
And
Osama is doing same.
yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. So I would suggest, and that's I say this to a lot of my students who come to my house: compare yourself to a good artist, and listen to your track. And what I agree is on the end. The end is too long for me. Like at 5, you go down, then you put a riot again, and then you stop. Like this riot doesn't, like, you can end 30 seconds earlier or 40 seconds earlier. That was too many. But like you said, very creative. With all the sounds. And one thing, not music related, I loved his picture from himself on his sound. Yeah, like the head exploding.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Very creative also.
Yeah. It's a creative guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, great music today. Or what are you thinking?
Yeah. Really. Because I get a lot of I get a lot of demos here from beginning guys, I would say. Yeah, it's not this quality. Yeah, you great quality here. Yeah,
great. Yeah, we have great international community on our Discord. They are writing a lot, sending tracks each other, giving feedback. So if you want to be part in our Discord community, check the description on this live stream. So yeah, we are coming now to the end, to the big final, and you can choose the track of the week with this link. You can vote now. But first we will listen to each track very short. Track number 1. Smoking Stressed von Yutsua. Then we had Shake von TRMA. Very great tunes here today, really. Recrudo, Mesrec. MarekSPolzki. Alrizzo. Van Vortex. Bärbeche von Flame and Afterglow von FIFO. It's hard to choose a favorite track today. What's your favorite track? You can vote. Wait, I give you.
I can't remember the name. The percussive track in the middle that I'd say that I would play.
Ah, yeah, I think it was the one track Vortex. With the funk.
Yes, I think it's an Italian guy. If I see the chat. No, there were like 4 tracks that I would play for sure.
Yeah.
Some if you do a opening set, some if you do like this track was for the middle of my in the middle of the evening, like a peak time stuff. Like, but there were some tracks I would definitely play in the beginning of the evening for sure.
Yeah. And yeah, I think number 6 is the winner. One with Vortex has 6 votes. So you have 1 minute more to leave a vote. And I have the timer here.
I saw somebody in the chat ask if I have MIDI stuff. I will show you my MIDI stuff. This is my best friend.
Nice. Yeah, it's enough. You need poties. That's enough. Yeah.
Yeah, this is my best friend.
I have some. This is my best friend.
Okay.
Just knobs. Yeah. I have a push here, but I don't.
I sold it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. You sold everything, man.
Yeah. The mouse, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe the mouse is my best friend. Yeah.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you have for what mouse are you using?
Wait.
I use this mouse, a Razer.
Skiller or something. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. When I on a studio system by my friend or something else, I just can produce with my own mouse. If there's another mouse and another keys, I really feel retarded. So it's
I
like,
have the same.
Yeah.
If I work on a train on my laptop, I use a little mouse because the train tables is not big enough. Yeah, it doesn't do the same like in the studio.
Yeah. I just bought like this one. It's like a MacBook. It's really nice, but I'm quicker with the mouse. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so congratulations, Van, for your number 1 track today. And you can write us an email, info@sine.de. Make a screenshot from your SoundCloud and send it with. And then you get a 25 euro coupon for our shop. So thank you. Thank you, Steve, for being here.
Thank you.
See you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Make the
had a great
masterclass.
time. Yeah, really. I had a great time over here.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy the time here. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Cool. So, dear community, have fun and see us soon. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.